I know what my audience like. I did some independent films with Master P. A lot of those movies did really well.
I'm ambitious, I'm a hustler. I have my own lane.
That's the thing about comedy. You wake up every day, you don't know if you're funny that day.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. We made it. It's made it to a whole nother week, man. On the way to the countdown is upon us. What countdown, you ask? The countdown to the end of 2020 is what we counting down. Somebody put a number in there in the chat. Put a number. How many days left? We're not counting down to the election. We count down to the end of 2020. This BS has to go. Welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go live with Lamont King. I am Lamont King, and we are now live. Let's go. We made it to another week, man. It's another Monday in the books. Gee whiz. I feel like we haven't spoke in so long, and so much has happened. We're here Monday. Let's get through housekeeping. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Shout out to everybody on the West Coast and watching worldwide. Facebook and YouTube on the chat. Thumbs up in the chat. If you're watching in the Humor Mill app, just tap your screen twice, and nothing will happen. But in spirit, we'll know you're there. We are broadcasting live from the newly remodeled Drunken Fruit Studios on the campuses of Howard University. I don't know. I just like to say that.
I don't care if it is a closet. You still looking mad efficient.
Thank you, sir. And also, we are 100% viewer supported by viewers like you. Appreciate y'all, the new sponsors that came on board last week. You can be one as well. We can shout you out as well. Cash App, $ Lamont King 06. All monies are accepted. Go towards our production costs of making this beautiful show and paying guests and staff and all of that. We need you. Also, content-wise, all of the content, all full shows and bonus clips are available at our Patreon. If you subscribe monthly, you don't have to send no money in every day. You can get all full episodes, and actually, I was putting them up on YouTube, but no longer. Everything we have now is available in Patreon. Also, to get notified on whenever we go live, please follow us social media, Mr. Lamont King, and YouTube.com, Lamont King. All right, there's that. All right, back to it, man. It's so much to go on. We were might hear from Miss India Sweet a little bit later. She, if you listen to a previous episode, we were talking about how to get on as a virtual fan, and guess what? She's on the game tonight. She's one of the virtual fans. I don't even know how many they do and if they last the whole game, but it's usually like maybe about 100 people up there behind. If you've been watching the NBA in the bubble, about 100 people behind the virtual fans from their home. So she's in that situation tonight, and we go. I watched the game just to see if I can see her, and that's everything else is irrelevant. So there's that. But shout out to the Peanut Gallery. I see Teron Jackson. I see Mr. Clarkson, our executive producer. I see John Watson from All Fun and Games, our show we do on Friday. And all right, 123 days left of this boom. Yeah, this 2020 is boom. I mean, this parallel universe, maybe, on some Bill and Ted type, is December 31st. It'll switch over and everybody be like 3, 2, 1, and some say, and then we go back to normal. I don't know if it's going to happen, but geez, 123 days left to get the TF up out of here, man. All right, this weekend. Between this weekend and this morning, we lost a couple absolute giants. If you have not heard the news, you've been under a rock. Chadwick Boseman, at age 43 this weekend, succumbed to colorectal cancer after a 4-year private battle that nobody outside of his immediate circle knew about. There are a couple things to unpack. So first, it's extremely saddening, and our thoughts and our prayers, all of us, really go out to his new wife, his family, and everybody that knew and loved him. Extreme condolences, man. Where do I start? He as a human, he impacted a lot of people's lives. As an artist, he really changed the game. He really changed the game. And if you've got a chance to hear any interviews about him from people that knew him, you'll know what type of quality and special individual he was. And it's a terrible thing, man, to go out that way and to leave, but two, to leave behind such a legacy and not be able to continue to and have the great impact that he did have and continue the great works. So many stories came out. I don't know if you heard the one about, him being a theater major in Howard and being offered an experience to study abroad and being short on the money. And his professor was Felicia Rashad. And she was like, well, I might know somebody who could pay for it. And he received the envelope. It was like, yo, I think it was Oxford. I could be wrong. He, he was awarded financial aid or full ride by this person, this mysterious angel donor benefactor, who he later found out was Denzel Washington. Amazing. That's a movie by itself. That story, it's a whole movie. And so years later, he was able to thank him in person when Denzel was being honored. And it's just so many layers. And him dealing with the cancer, the stage 4 cancer diagnosis or prognosis. Not sure which one is correct to use right there. But then to continue to work. And if you know anybody dealing with that disease, any version of it, you know the toll it takes on the body. And for him to put out, I think he put out about 4 major motion pictures while being treated and while dealing with that disease until the very end, which was the last project, I believe, is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which is yet to be released. That is incredible. Again, that's a whole movie. There's a movie that could be done just on him keeping it a secret and doing movies in that condition and nobody know. So there's that piece. Then you have the final piece, which him dealing with the scrutiny and the scorn and the uncivilized nature of the Twitter mob, social media mob, and how, his physical appearance. I mean, we all know it. His physical appearance changed drastically in the last few years, and everybody had an opinion. And that whole time, you got to deal with that scrutiny, that incoming, and not want to, in one swoop, you can really shut everybody up and be like, shut the hell up. Like I'm fighting cancer. This is why I look like this. But in that, not letting his pride or ego get the best of him, he just kept his head down and stayed his course. following his vision, stayed on his path, not really letting us off the hook with, the pretty much abuse that he was taking online, especially recently within the last, say, year and a half. And it just shows you how terrible people can be, how just terrible people can really, really be. And, but yeah, big time. Let's see. Mr. Clarkson says he did a total of 11 films from the time he was diagnosed until his death. That's incredible. That is incredible. You won't see that ever again. But the way people conduct themselves on social media, man, it's just, oh man, I really hope people that were taking shots at him feel really, really bad about themselves for a long, long time. Because people, you so quick, you don't even know the story. A lot of times we see stuff and people, you don't know what's behind the story. I tell you a quick story, not about Chadwick, just about people. I was at work and we deal with the public, and there was somebody had a seizure, but it was a drug overdose. It was K2. And so we call the paramedics or whatever, and they come in and, you give them the Narcan or whatever. And in this moment, I've seen it dozens of times. In this moment, it is very easy to judge this person because we were at the time in this area, there was an epidemic, an overdose epidemic. And so it's very easy to judge people in this situation. I remember the chief fire guy. Everybody else came in the big brown, tan leather and vinyl fire suits and the big hats or whatever. And he was a white shirt. They call him a white shirt. So he was like maybe a sergeant or whatever. And he came in and, real upbeat, up tempo. And he's sitting there doodling on the counter while everybody's milling around, treating this person, getting them back to bring them back to life. And he wrote on the counter, he's drawing this dude. I'm looking, and it's like a caricature. And he tapes it. He said, "Can I have some tape?" I hand him tape. And he tapes it to our desk. And it's a cartoon. He sat there and wrote a cartoon in silence. And the cartoon is still at the job. This is 2 years ago. It's still on the desk. Coffee stains on it, everything, fingerprints. It's still there. And it says, "Be kind to everybody you come across because you never know what they're going through." And when I seen that, I was like, wow. That changes your whole perspective, man. You don't know who is dealing with what, why, or when. So I say all that to say, man, it's a 2020 is a MF, and people can be really, really, really ugly, at the worst times. But we're gonna celebrate Chad's life and legacy and continue to watch his movies and hopefully if you got kids or whatever who are impacted and influenced by his body of work and specifically Black Panther. He gave us iconic, one of the all-time greatest superhero characters ever even thought of or imagined. Who knew? I'm a child of the 80s. I would have never thought or thunk. I wasn't even in the comics. I didn't even realize that Stan Lee made Black Panther one of the first of his. I know you comic nerds are going to correct me, but I read something that said he made Black Panther to be one of the baddest, be a badass from the very beginning. It just society wasn't ready to have that as a superhero out in front. And then who knew years later Marvel would make a mega budget blockbuster movie with that type of theme and that type of cast and make history. So shout out to the life and legacy of Chadwick Boseman, man. We're gonna miss him. ABC, I believe, is showing the Black Panther uninterrupted tonight at like 8 p.m. So if you're around, check that out too. My favorite, outside of his portrayal of Black Panther in all 4 of the movies that he was in, and I believe Black Panther 2 is coming out sometime next year. I'm curious as to how they're going to end that, in that storyline or whatever have you. According to comic book nerds, the successor to the Black Panther is his younger sister Shuri, which makes sense. And hopefully they'll do that as a smooth transition. I've seen a lot of opinion today. People was like, you got to kill him off with grace, or nobody can ever play Black Panther again. You can't get another actor, and all these, emotional opinions or whatever. The only one I saw that was kind of interesting, I was like, they could probably do that. They was like use the Infinity Stones to go back, resurrect Killmonger, and make him a good guy, and then have him continue on as Black Panther. I was like, that's kind of creative, but no. But what I was gonna say was my favorite was Get On Up. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like 42 was cool, but he really looked like Jackie Robinson. I think he was born to play those two roles because James Brown, he looked, sound, and everything like James Brown. So Get On Up for me was the best outside of Black Panther, but Black Panther was just a game changer. It was a game changer. All right, let's keep it moving. There's a couple things going on in the world that you need to know. And I'm not breaking news. I ain't really big on gossip and tea, if you will. But there's a few stories that might get your attention today. This is the first one. Oh, wait a minute. I got to get this. I got to speak on this too. Before I continue, before we get to the light side and today's question of the day, we also lost another heavyweight. DC's own John Thompson Jr., who was 78. He died, I believe, either yesterday or this morning. Super iconic coach. First black coach to win NCAA championship with Georgetown, I believe in 84, 85. Might even be in 83. Could be earlier. Y'all can correct me on that. Do your Googles. John Thompson from the city, went to Carroll. Just an all-around great, influential, everybody's second father. He was a DC dude. If you know anything about people from here and the old timers that are from here, he was a DC dude. Two examples. One being there was a guy by the name of Rayful Edmonds, big time drug dealer in the early 80s, all the way up into the early 90s. And Georgetown, major white school, mostly black basketball program, but it's in the city. And the legend has it that John Thompson once went to the home of Rayful Edmonds and told him, I got a star center that plays Georgetown, and I don't want you to come, you or your peoples to come nowhere near him. That's money, that's girls, that's cocaine. And that person was Alonzo Mourning. So John Thompson was, and Rayful, it didn't happen because John Thompson was that much respected, being a DC dude by DC dudes. And then a few years later, you got Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson, one of the most highly recruited, sought after high school football players in America. Got hundreds of offers to play football and basketball, and then got in fighting in the bowling alley, as you know. Went to jail and lost every single scholarship recruitment offer. And his mother went and reached out to John Thompson, begged him to recruit his son. And he did, and became like a father figure to Allen Iverson and helped him on his path into the Hall of Fame. So, John Thompson, we salute you, man. Let's take a look at this real quick. Let's watch this. We're losing our heroes, man. Lute Olson, Arizona coach, famed Arizona coach. He passed this weekend as well. And when I first saw it, I ain't gonna lie, not to be funny, I was like, Lou Holtz? And then I seen Lou Holtz. I was like, sheesh. You look up Lou Holtz and you'll understand what I was getting at right there. You're smart. But anyway, all right, so let's take a look at this real quick. This is what Iverson had to say about his former coach.
Stains can appear out of thin air, but when you get to work, magic happens.
They're not paying, so I'm going to take them out of there.
The real trick is the next one up your sleeve.
I'll wait till that commercial finishes because y'all ain't paying. All right, here we go.
I want to thank Coach Thompson. Coach Thompson for saving my life. Um, I was recruited by every school in the country for football and basketball. And an incident happened in high school, and all that was taken away. No other teams, no other schools were recruiting me anymore. My mom went to Georgetown and begged him to give me a chance. And he did.
Dang, he coached for 27 years. 26 of his players were drafted to the NBA. Including 4 Hall of Famers. Rest in peace, John Thompson Jr. All right, there goes that. All right, so.
Whatever life throws at you.
All right, so let's get back to it, man. Before we get to our question of the day. A lot of sadness, but you got to keep pushing, man. 2020, 123 days left, man. We got enough shockers. Jay Elite said, "What about 21 Bridges?" I still haven't seen that. I still have not seen that. Well, let me answer. Let's take this Skype call and let's see. Let me bring in Mr. Clarkson real quick. Our executive producer. I still haven't seen 21 Bridges. I probably will watch that this week at some point in time. Hold on a second. Skype is wide open, by the way. It's Let's Go Live, exclamation mark, and you'll see our face right there. But meanwhile, let me welcome to the program, Mr. Clarkson, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's good with you?
Man, nothing much. I know that you're going to jump into another segment, but I wanted to tell you this story
Okay.
that literally just happened literally an hour or so ago. So one of my really great friends from back home just called me and was like, "Hey, G, I need your help with this situation that just happened with my son." She has a younger son who was a huge Black Panther fan. And she said, "I've been trying to avoid getting him away from the TV so he didn't know that, of course, the guy that played Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, did not pass away." So sure enough, she tells him and says, "The Black Panther is dead." And he immediately starts crying and says, "Well, why they do that? Why did they do that?" And she says, "Well, no, what do you mean, who's they? No, he died of cancer, because you remember Papa died of cancer, that's what he died of." "Well, who's they? Why are you referencing they?" "Well, didn't white police officers kill the Black Panther?" And I went, good grief. And she said, "Well, no, he died of natural causes." So I bring this up because even there's so much trauma that we think that it misses, like, young folks, right? Like, they like kids. They crayon kids, you know what I'm saying? You color in between the lines. But yet and still, that weight of that movie meant that much to him, and being so cognizant of things in the world, thinking that is what happened to Chadwick, rather than compared to the fact that he was taken away due to natural causes or a possible disease.
Now, how old was he? Is he?
He's 5'6".
5'6". And so
that's a rough way to look at the world,
man. And you know what's harder than that? Even rougher than that? Being a parent trying to explain that that's not what happened. Because how do you explain? Because now you got to explain cancer.
Yeah.
You got to explain police brutality. You got to explain movies versus reality. What an actor is. You got to, you literally have to go through each piece in order to make it all make sense.
So, because this is the thing that scared me the most about it, because she was like, "I know that you had a boy this age. What do you do? What do you do?" and she's like, because he kept saying, well, he's one of the good guys. Why would they do that to one of the good guys? And I'm going, ah, Christ. And it's like, no, it's, and she had to kind of slow everything down. She was like, well, I'm going to let you talk to G. You like G. So I'm like slowing everything down for him. Well, hey, there's Chadwick Boseman. You know who that guy is. He plays Black Panther. And, kind of doing the math of the situation and having to explain that he wasn't taken due to police violence. But what a time to be alive where you have to be that fearful that your hero might be taken away like that. And most importantly, keep telling your mom why they do that. He's one of the good guys.
And it also speaks to the fact that if you're that young and even in the room when news is on, or even around a informed parent that's kind of explaining things as they happen, your frame of reference to black male death right now is through a police brutality prism.
Correct.
So that when you see any other death in general, you automatically go to that because that's your last point of reference. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I said, well, at least he's paying attention when CNN is on. You can't just, he ain't coloring in blindness. He knows what the soup for the day is, which is sad. But I just wanted to throw that out there for our listeners to kind of consider as we look at the life and times of Chadwick Boseman, but also the world that we live in and how it is affecting our younger scholars as they're progressing or just processing all of this.
Right. Yeah. And to that point, though, I know some adults who are absolutely bewildered that, the good ones, you got Kobe, you got Chadwick Boseman in the same year, and then these other folks are still here. And you're like, how?
Yeah.
How?
It's a careful scale because you don't want to play judge and jury.
Right. You don't want to wish death on nobody. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, but it's certain ones you like.
Yeah.
Take these.
Yeah.
That's like that.
It's like you don't think like you Grim Reaper. You didn't when you was looking. You didn't think. Okay. It's hey.
You sure you want Kobe? You really could take.
Yeah, it's tough because it's hard to not be judgmental in that one.
Right.
Like I for a split second, I ain't gonna lie. I don't wish death on anybody because it could come to any doorstep. But when I saw Lute Olson, and I thought it was Lou Holtz, notorious racist coach.
Correct.
I was like, okay, all right.
Because I will have to save this for the Unplugged show, but one of my really good friends was a black quarterback at Notre Dame. From Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay.
And he was good enough to do more. And anytime he had a chance, Lou threw him underneath the bus.
Oh man, I've heard several stories like that over the years. I mean, he coached for 62 goddamn years.
I mean, God bless him. He was able to make it to the league, play 5 years, got his little pension or whatever. But he said that the day that he left Notre Dame was the equivalent of him getting freedom papers. And I'm like, to use that terminology, chill out. So it's like, you could take.
Yeah.
Lou? Sure you won't?
You sure you won't? All right. You know better than me, I guess.
You know better.
Yeah.
I'm laughing at that meme. It's 2020. It's a meme that's out where it's Kobe stepping out of a DeLorean, and it says, "If 2021 don't start off like this, I don't want it." And that's where we are. 123 days, man.
Yeah.
Vote, people. Please vote.
Yeah,
that's all I got to say.
That too.
I'm out.
Well, I appreciate you, and stand by too, because you might want to come back for the question of the day. Tracy, it's about Tracy.
Right,
it's about Tracy Morgan. All right.
All right,
Mr. Clarkson, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, man. I ain't gonna swell, man. I saw. Did you see Lou Holtz speak at during the RNC? He spoke, or I guess that's what you call it. I don't know when he does it, when he opens his mouth and his voice comes out. I don't even know what that's called. Some people might call it speaking. Oh, he sounds like Bullwinkle. Google Lou Holtz right now. He sounds like Bullwinkle and Elmer Fudd and Daffy Duck all at the same time. And this man, he's on TV. Like, he has TV work. Absolutely ridiculous. Notorious racist. But anyway, moving on. 123 days until, and not to the election, to the end of the year. This year needs to go. All right, breaking news. Let's get to it. I don't know if you saw this. I'm going to just let you read the headline. Some of y'all are shocked by this. I'm not. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get this up for you. We can move through this pretty quickly before I get labeled, because I don't want to get labeled. All right, did you hear this news? Niecy Nash. She's off the market. She is off the market. And you're asking yourself, well, wait a minute. I thought she was married. Well, no, she's not. A year after her divorce, she gets married to musician Jessica Betts. Let's take a look at this. Who knew? This is her third marriage to her, I guess, friend and soulmate and homegirl, as she put it. Monday, August 31st, she posted, that's today, she shared a picture of her nuptials to her girlfriend, Jessica Betts. Miss Carol Denise Betts. Her name is Carol Denise, Niecy Nash. And her wife posted, got a whole wife. So Niecy Nash, if you remember, had just recently put out some tips on how to keep your man. And I believe she had a relationship book out too. All right. So moving on. There's that. Congrats for them. Salute Black Love, though. Salute Black Love. I guess any way you can get it. I guess. I ain't a phobe. Nothing. I support it. You know, Black Love. We must protect women at all costs, and that's what they're doing. They're protecting each other, so they fit into the category of protecting women. So that's fine with me. And hey, I'm with it. All right. And hey, you know, I love to see Black women and Black men looking women together. And that's a good thing, because still the family is still all right. Moving on. D. All right. So real quick, I got one for y'all. Adele Bonton, man. This is I thought this was funny. So Adele lost a lot of weight. Singer Adele from the UK. Big following worldwide. Very, she posted a picture recently that I thought was pretty interesting, and the internet went nuts again, as they always do, every 32 minutes. And it was of, let me get into it. Let's see I don't know where she was, what she was doing, but she was pretty much shouting out Jamaica. She got the Bonzu knots. Is that right? The Bonzu knots. She had a little outfit on, a little carnival outfit on, and a little Jamaican flag bikini top to cover her tetas. And I think it's a good look. But, you know, the Twitter wars, the Twitter mob was going at it. The foundational Black Americans was going at it with the Caribbean Americans. Tariq Nasheed was calling this cultural appropriation. Caribbeans was like, you Black Americans get over yourself and blah, blah, blah. And Adele Dolezal, I call her Adele Bonton. But, you know, I'm not mad. I don't really, here's the question. And I want to hear from the ladies. Bantu knots. Did I say it right? I thought I said it right. What did I say? Banzu? Oh, Bantu knots. All right. I knew if I heard the word, I would know what it was. Anyway, let's see. They say you just broke the internet. All the white ladies was like, yes, hunty, and all of that. It was just a post. So it was a picture, no real background, but let's just focus on the picture for right now. All right. So for people that have a problem with it, I got a question for the ladies. Is it cultural appropriation? Does that only go one way? And I'm really here to start some shit. Imani says we can't have shite. Does it only go one way? Because what if white women came out and was like, wait a minute, bitch. For years and years and years, Black women been wearing weave, straight hair, extra long eyelashes, and face paint. Is that not cultural appropriation? Is not perming your hair, sisters, a version of cultural appropriation? I know y'all don't want to hear this, but I had to throw it out there because Is it only one way? Is it only when, like, if you got Chinese tattoos on your body and you ain't Chinese, is that cultural appropriation, or does it only go one way when people be claiming black stuff? I get it. I lightweight know the answer to it. I just want to hear what you're saying. Because, okay, Yvonne said makeup was invented by Africans. Okay, but not rosy cheeks and eyeshadow to look like some white girl on a runway. I don't think that was invented by Africans. Can we see the photo? Hold on, let me blow it up. I'm just talking shit. No, that's all you get. You got to zoom in. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me zoom it in. Maybe I'll do that. Take a look at this. All right, here we go. Is that better? Blonde hair does not belong to any race. I ain't say it blonde. I said straight. Straight hair does not belong to it. Yeah. Yes, it does. Don't it? Okay. All right, y'all coming out with the heady stuff, the smart stuff. Let me see what John said. She looks like every white woman at every all-inclusive Jamaican resort. Exactly. That's the first thing they do is when you get off the plane and you go into the resort, you see the white ladies in the chair getting the Bo Derek braids. Like I'm not mad at it, but yeah, back to the appropriation conversation. If does it only go one way when you think it's like a Rachel Dolezal situation where you know they're doing black or being black, but then half the times we can't define what black is. So is she saluting and paying tribute to Jamaican culture? Is that appropriation? You know what I'm saying? Does it go both ways? I need to know. Questions that need answers. All right. Let's see. Pharaohs, kings, and queens. African. Okay, I like that. I like that answer. Africans own all phenotypes. Well, first of all, I'm not as learned as I portray, so I don't even know what the phenotype is. But the answer is strong. That comment is very strong. It sounds like. So yeah, you're right. Africans own all phenotypes. So that sounds like some right shit. So I'm with it. But in this picture, she does look like Rachel Dolezal. But here's the question. Is she trying to be black? Is she appropriating? Or is she celebrating Jamaican culture and African culture? Because if she's celebrating it, then she should be allowed to, the same way we celebrate other cultures. Isn't that kind of a tribute? Now, mocking is a whole different thing. And I don't see mock in this picture. And anything I've seen from her doesn't give me mock. So I just want to throw this out there because, of course, the internet is where you can throw shots and don't nobody see you. So everybody had commentary. You know, the foundational ADOS was like colonizer, stick to your own and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, half the shit black people do a lot of times is European influenced. Like your whole mind, many of us, is washed European. So are you appropriating? Or because it was inflicted upon you, you get a pass and it doesn't count the same? That's the question. All right, here we go. Phenotype. Thank you, Mr. Clarkson. Phenotype is the set of observable characteristics of an individual resulting from the interaction of its genotype with the environment. All right, we have a problem here. So now I understand what phenotype is. Have no clue what genotype is. All right. John says it looks like she's in Jamaica, so the locals set up the visitors and ask them if they want to get get their hair done as soon as they get in there. Yeah. So I like it. I'm with it. Now, carnival time or whenever that is, if she in the joint with the big, the big thing or whatever, and she on the truck and all of that, West Indian Day Parade, New York, I'm still with it. I think imitation is flattery, but mockery is disrespect. As long as she ain't mocking and disrespecting, I'm good with it. All right, moving on. Got y'all riled up. I like it. That's what we need. All right, so Tracy Morgan, question of the day. Tracy Morgan, famed actor, comedian from 30 Rock, Saturday Night Live, and the Martin Lawrence Show, recently is announced that he's getting a divorce after 5 years from his wife, They don't give a reason, but a couple things are at play here. And let's bring this story up so I can include you and we can get to the details. All right, here we go. Wait a minute. Before I do that, genotype. Thank you, Mr. Clarkson, for doing your Googles. The genetic constitution of an individual organism. So now I place that definition, now that I have the knowledge, and put that back into phenotype, and then I'll understand. But the comment is gone, so I have to figure that out later. J Max says it was a festival in the UK, and UK heavy West Indian presence, so I'm still for it. Adele, put out some new music, shut the haters up, and we'll be over it in 48 hours. So keep doing you. Shout out to the titty flags. What them titty flags do. All right, let's keep it clean. So, Tracy Morgan, let's try to read this a little close. I'll give you the play-by-play, all the key details. So Tracy Morgan's estranged wife. Who knows why she's estranged? But Megan is her name, Megan Wallover. She wants sole custody of their daughter, Maven, who is 7, while he is asking for joint custody. I'll give you a quick little background. He's 51. She's 33. They're reportedly arguing over custody of their 7-year-old daughter. And, they've been going through divorce proceedings. They got married. They got engaged around 2012, 2013, and they got married in 2015, some 12 to 14 months after his now infamous and near tragic, well, it was a tragic accident because it killed one of his friends, Jimmy Mack, traffic accident between his Sprinter van and a Walmart truck. Now, they do have a prenup. This is what a lot of stories I saw, because this was trending. A lot of stories kind of left out. They do have a prenup. It was signed on August 5th, 2015. The two got married just 14 months after he was left fighting for his life. So he said he wanted to hurry up and he didn't want to be alone for the rest of his life and blah, blah, blah. So he's also the father of the 3 adult sons who are 34, 32, and 28. So they got the 7-year-old. They got the prenup. They're getting divorced. She wants sole custody and a house that's worth like $20 million. Here's the part that's not in this story. Here's the question of the day. He got a settlement for $90 million from Walmart, allegedly. The exact number, I don't think was ever made public, but it is believed that it's around $90 million. Oh, wait a minute. What the titty flags? I got to take that down. I ain't see it. Yeah, that's going to kill the replay. So they got married 14 months after that. So $90 million from Walmart. She's asking for half. Unpopular opinion. And that's why I said I was going to bring you back, Mr. Clarkson, but this is actually available to anybody. Here's the number. We got one line. So first person, first come, first serve. That's the number to call in. Or Skype. Here's the Skype. I'll give you my position on this. I think she should get it. I think she should get it. I'll tell you why. There's a part to this story that is not included in this particular article, which I found out doing my research. She gave that man a whole kidney. As a result of the injuries that he suffered, he needed a kidney transplant. And guess who gave it to him? Her. She should get every bit of half of that $90 million. I don't care what happened after that. They didn't get along. I didn't really know you. I think she should get it. You only get 2 kidneys. I gave you 1 to live. After that, Walmart give you $90 million. We fall out, go south. Yeah. All right. Here's your options. Prenup does not cover that. Sure. However, either let me get $45 million as a result of that tragic accident where you lost your friend, or let me get my kidney back, fam. It's really that simple. What is your price? This is always my position. What's your price point? Everybody has a price. What is your price point? Either let me get that $45 million or get me my kidney back, fam. All right, let's see. We got a caller. Let's welcome to the show Mr. John Watson, ladies and gentlemen, from All Fun and Games on Friday. All right, here we go. John Watson, welcome to the program.
Yeah, what's up? You can hear me? Got sound? You hear me?
Yeah. You're a little low, but yeah.
Hello. I'll speak up a little bit. I ain't had a mic on me. I wasn't. You caught me off guard, but I had to.
Yeah. She got to get half, fam,
Look here, man.
or the kidney back.
First of all, you can't get the kidney back. It ain't gonna work the same. You can't just take it out and put it back.
What you mean?
Flip, I got the scars to prove it. Once you give a kidney up, that's not your kidney no more.
Oh, so you've been through this?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. I'm a donor.
Oh, so you're you're a donor.
No price. That's a choice that you make to save a life. It should have no monetary value whatsoever.
No.
I'm not with it.
But okay. I get
broke off.
I get your principle.
Broke off, but you can't put a monetary value on that like that.
You definitely can. You can't. All right, that's like saying you can't put a monetary value on matrimony.
Yeah, but they did.
Right. So that means you can.
But dude, that's like, you remember that every time, like, you remember the time I gave you the Heimlich? Remember that time
when I saved your life?
I grabbed you out the way when the bus was coming. You wasn't looking down the street. You made a choice to save a life.
No.
What did George Lopez's wife get?
I don't even know what happened with the George Lopez situation.
So George Lopez's wife gave him a kidney, and he divorced her maybe like a year later.
Right. Okay. So still, there's layers. I don't know what happened with George Lopez. I don't know what led to his kidney failure. I'm not scholarly enough to know the factors, but what I do know is that the car crash is what caused Tracy Morgan to lose his.
Right.
And I give you to live. We get married happily ever after, and I'm like, boom, 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 I'm with you. I'm rocking. I save your life. But then you roll after you get paid for the accident. You survive the accident and then survive because of me. I take half. I take half. She deserves it.
You ain't had to do all that recovering.
It wouldn't be no recovery if it wasn't for me.
He could have gotten another one.
But there's no guarantee.
You make the list.
There's no guarantee. That waiting list.
There's no guarantee. I'm not saying she shouldn't have got broke off.
Right.
I'm not saying that she shouldn't get a bonus off. I don't know what the prenup is. So let's say the prenup was based on his earnings, his TV earnings, and blah blah blah. So maybe she got like $2-3 million. I don't know.
Right. Spousal support and all that. Yeah.
Let's speculate.
Right.
Like that. And they get a little bonus for every year you were married. All that shit combined, whatever.
Right. Fair.
Son, I almost died and got $90 million. You got to get half. I had to get a permanent metal rod in my leg.
Right. And also,
and she was there to support him, and she rocked with him the whole time. Got it. I'm not saying she shouldn't get more than whatever maybe the prenup stipulates. But
all right. So listen. You're right. You can't put a price on life. People do it. People do it all the time. Out of court settlements. All I'm saying is that's not money he earned. She's not asking for SNL money. She's not asking for, people all day was like, well, she wasn't with him shooting in the gym. This wasn't part of his craft.
I would almost rather you take my SNL money.
Oh, no.
On pure principle, because that's the money I got for almost dying, fam.
Right.
It hurts a little harder when you take my almost died money. I'd rather you take I worked 20 years for this money. I'd rather you take my talent money. Like, all right, but don't take the I almost died money. Like,
no. I disagree, because I would say take that, because that was money I didn't expect. The money that I earned has memories attached to it. So it's like, nah, you can't get that because you wasn't there for that. I built a whole life before you. This accident, and then you being generous enough to let me get your kidney, take it. Be good riddance. Here, take half. I don't like you anyway. We're done. You fighting for joint custody when I can take care of our daughter. Take the money, go. I'd rather that.
And the crib with the bowling alley and the basketball court and the shark tank that competes with the Georgia aquarium and and she gets all that part too.
That's what they said. That's what he got.
I don't know. I know he has a crib that has a tank in it because he's a fish dude.
Okay.
He has one of them tanks that can compete with like the world's greatest home aquarium.
Wow.
With real like salt water over here. And
right.
He got stingrays and baby sharks and all this type of shit in his crib. She gonna get all that too?
I mean, hey.
Oh, gee.
If it's part of the prenup, the kidney though, man, that's a. I mean, and you really have a unique perspective, and I give you that. But that's a body part. Like I can't. Let's say her child needs one in the future. She can't do it again. You only get two.
I mean, I feel the same way, but like,
well, yeah. I mean,
the decision that you make, you know what I'm saying? You don't think in advance. I'm gonna get paid off this later on, or I'm gonna use this as a chip later on. You just go, yo, this is what I want to do right now.
It's not that I will use it as a chip later on, but late in the game, you might feel burned a little bitter. You definitely gonna lay out that as an option. You can be like, well, wait. It's like, all right, so I loan, and this is completely not the same, but you loan somebody, let me get $1, man. I just, let's go play this lottery right quick. And you get them $1 and they buy the lottery ticket and they hit. Yeah. and they hit you and they like, here, hey man, I appreciate you. Here's your $1 back. Here's this 20.
Oh no.
And you just hit for $7 million?
You gotta use some of that for bail money.
Yeah. that's not the same, but it's kind of the same though. It's kind of the same.
Nah, man.
Oh man.
She should definitely, if the prenup is low or considerably low by comparison to the money that he has, I definitely agree that she should get a nice chunk of change, something out of that settlement chunk of change. Because I mean, at the end of the day, she cared for him. She was there. She's supportive. She gave him a kidney. Yeah, I didn't even know that part. So she should definitely get a considerable chunk of that change. But half,
see, here's the point. Great comment.
Half plus child support on top. Like, so you need child support on top of the 45.
I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. I mean, everybody gets. Come on, the whole system. You're gonna get more than what you need anyway. It's a custom to a way of living. But here's the point. Here's a good point. I'm sure she didn't plan on giving this man a kidney if she knew they'd be getting divorced. There's value in that.
Big fact.
There's value in that.
Right.
And from a court standpoint, I see half. I gave up half of my organ.
No, he gave up a whole organ.
No, but I'm saying, like, you only get 2. I give you 1. That's half. And then you got awarded, a certain amount of money in compensatory damages. I should see. All right. I get it.
I think the prenup might make that a little difficult.
It may. What and before you go, what do you think is the max money she should get out of that $90 million, if any?
Dude, she should get. I mean, she should get a good, I'd say 2025.
2025, but not 30.
Well, now you creeping up on half.
No, I'm just saying. What's the?
I got nowhere to go if you start at 30. We might end up at 30.
Okay, all right.
You can't start there.
Okay, start low. All right, I can dig it.
Whatever she's gonna get, from the prenup, you know what I'm saying? She's gonna be straight.
Right. All right, I can appreciate it. All right, there it is, folks. John Watson, All Fun and Games on Friday. You can see him on the show. Let's Go Live with John Watson on Friday. Hey, we got to hear that story. Is that something you want to share this week?
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, because I ain't know that. That's big. That's major.
Yeah, man. I had a Chadwick Boseman story too, but we jumped off that.
Oh, chill. We'll bring it back. We just out of time right now. Still got to make room for Roland. So, we'll bring it back. All right, I'll holler. There it is. All right, we've reached that point of the show, man, where we always like to leave on a lesson and hear a word from an elder in a segment I like to call Hi, Dad.
Happy everyday, brothers and sisters. This is Alpha Papa with today's reflections. So long, Big John. I crossed paths with John Thompson at Keller Miller and Brown Playground in the late 50s and early 60s. He was on the main court, and I had not yet attained the skill level to play on the main court. He was a gentle yet commanding giant of a man. My reflection of him today goes back to his first few years as a coach at Georgetown University. He recruited local players from the DC public school system and molded them into a team. I remember some of the names of the players, but I think it would be fair to others just not to name them all. They came from Dunbar, Easton, Spingarn, and Woodson. These young men laid the foundation for what Big John's teams at Georgetown would become known nationally. Tough, strong defense, and the beast of the East. John always gave back to the public schools. Had he not gone to John Carroll Catholic High School, he may have gone to Spingarn High School. Now, wouldn't that have been something? He donated a sizable amount of money to the Spingarn Alumni Association during halftime of a game at the Verizon Center a few years ago. My condolences go out to the Thompson family and friends. Rest in peace, Big John. Peace and blessings to all. Alpha Papa.
All right, there it is, folks. We have reached the end of our show. I appreciate y'all. There's a word from our elder. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. This is what we do Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's a little bit of trending topics, celebrity interviews, hilarious commentary, and interesting people. That is our 4-piece that we throw at you every day. Continue to support us with 100% viewer supported, $ Lamont King 06, and patreon.com, Mr. Lamont King. And I appreciate y'all, man. We'll see y'all tomorrow, Lord willing. Tomorrow at the same time. We are out of time. Sorry, Roland. We'll try to get you in tomorrow, but everybody else be safe and stay out of trouble. Best see you in a minute.